what role can EOSC play in, in generally coordinating open science across Europe, and specifically open data, or the FAIR principles, or the European Open Science Cloud's role. So this is the answer that I addressed. Specifically, my take was for researchers. So from the perspective of researchers, what role do they play in the European Open Science Cloud? What do they need to know about the European Open Science Cloud? What do they need to do with and for the European Open Science Cloud? We did a survey at the European Commission from a specific working group working on open science in collaboration with Eurodoc, and we aimed this survey at researchers across Europe. Most of the respondents were postdocs and doctoral candidates, as you would expect, but we also got all levels of researchers. What we concluded from this survey was that researchers themselves do not know much about open science. They do not know about the different initiatives in open science, and they don't know the different practices. The most they know is usually open access, open data, and then after that it kind of goes down. And then even then they're not fully aware of what that means. So number one is awareness. The second one was on how they are trained and supported and guided in doing open science, and then specifically focusing on open access and open data. So when we asked them, are you using institutional guidelines for open access and open data, most of them said no. When we asked them, are you using funding guidelines, so guidelines given to you by your funder, mandatory? Again, no. So the majority is not using guidelines. When we asked them, what would you like? One of the answers was support. So general support, for instance, a help desk specialist support, for instance, somebody from my discipline who can help me make my data open. So they're not getting the support. And when we asked them, are you getting trained? So are you following courses? 25% across the board said that they had followed courses on open access and open data. In other words, 75% are not getting trained, at least according to them. And what most of them say is that they learn by doing. So, the bottom line here is that they're not fully aware of what it is, they're not being guided by the institutions, and they're not being supported and trained for this. And one of the most important things that came out of it was that the majority of them, so over, I think it was 2/3, were not using or did not know what a data management plan was, and also around 2/3 did not know or were not using metadata. And of the small percentage that was using metadata, they were using informal guidelines for metadata, meaning they were using their own kind of metadata. So these are the core things for us that we would like to push towards EOSC. And I think we see EOSC as possibly playing a leading role in this. So to take these issues that we've raised and to start addressing them. So to start making researchers more aware of what EOSC is and how they should use it and what they should do, as well as helping to develop the training courses, helping to push the support, helping to push for national and disciplinary guidelines on open access, or specifically fair open data.